This is a full last word cocktail right here. This is filled to the brim. Maybe just a little sippy poo.
And I'm ripping with my Eagle Rare 10-year bourbon.
Decentralized storage lovers. Welcome to the first episode of A Drink with the Devs. I feel like this show should just be a way for people to get some updates on what's happening with the Jackal protocol for maybe some of the people that, don't want to tune in to the town halls because they don't have time. What's hot? What's happening at Jackal Labs?
Big thing. V4 just went live. That's huge. It's been since September of last year we've been working on it, so it's been a long time coming. The chain needed an upgrade. We pretty much rewrote the storage module from scratch, which is crazy. So all that's left, everything's on chain, everything's good to go. It's just updating all of those front ends and the those final details in our front end libraries to make sure that all of Jackal works in your browser perfectly.
Marcin, I was browsing the old Twitter over here. I still haven't come to call it X. I just can't do it.
I can't.
Not yet. I wanted to talk about this tweet right here. And you write, creating an OP rollup using Jackal as a DA layer and embedding a Jackal storage API into the sequencer to give every app on the rollup a Jackal account. What does that mean? There's a lot of acronyms here. I need a little explain to me like I'm 5.
Basically, what it is, it's funny too because it's all possible, and we're working on demos for this kind of stuff. But an OP rollup is part of the Optimism stack, so it's fully working Ethereum-based chain, but it is a rollup instead of being Ethereum itself. And then it needs a place to put its block information. Usually, that would be either Ethereum. People are moving into Celestia and other data availability layers. Because Jackal does file storage, and files are just any data, we can also do data availability with block headers, just storing them as files on Jackal. So we have a demo of that, which is really funny.
There's a demo?
Great. Yeah, there's a demo. It doesn't look like anything. It just kind of looks like EVM.
I thought this was just a tweet. I didn't know there was a demo.
The thing that isn't a demo yet is embedding a Jackal account into the sequencer. So OP stack, it uses a centralized sequencer to post all the block headers to Jackal. So that kind of controls the flow of transactions on the network and, hooks into the Ethereum virtual machine. What we were kind of joking around about, but it's totally possible and actually might be a good idea, is embedding Jackal as a pre-compiled EVM contract into that software so that the EVM that's running on the OP stack can talk to Jackal using the sequencer that's already posting to Jackal, thereby giving the entire rollup a Jackal account. Which we thought was really funny because it's just abstraction on top of abstraction on top of abstraction. But it might work, and it might work really, really well. So we're playing around with it in demo land.
Marston, that seemed like an amazing answer. Can you explain it to me like I'm 4?
An OP rollup is a blockchain that relies on other blockchains to run. And in this case, we'd be running an entire blockchain on top of Jackal storage layer instead of Ethereum or Celestia. And then also that last little bit where we give the rollup a Jackal account means anyone using that blockchain gets storage on Jackal as well.
Marston, let's talk about this tweet that's pinned to your profile. IPFS is everywhere in Web3, but almost everyone is using it wrong. What do you mean everyone's using it wrong? Enlighten me a little bit.
IPFS, right? It's this really great storage discovery layer. And everyone seems to think that you can store stuff to IPFS, which is just not true. People will come up to me and they'll be like, how does Jackal differ from IPFS? To the average person, they won't really know why it differs because of how much misinformation is out there, even by applications that are using IPFS. So IPFS needs data to be stored somewhere, and then it makes it discoverable. So you can access data that's on IPFS's data layer anywhere really, really quickly, really easily.
This is where I get confused. What do you mean it needs to be discoverable. Also, I know that IPFS is Interplanetary File System, but as far as I know, Earth is the only planet that it is available on. Is it a lie?
It's weird, actually. They put it in space. NASA brought IPFS to space.
What?
I don't know. They indexed a bunch of data and then launched it to space.
Wild.
When you go online, right, and you go to Google something, you're getting a file over a network, and that file is the Google homepage.
Yes.
That is a discovery layer called DNS, where you hook into this big computer that tells you where you need to go to get your file. The problem with DNS is that you rely on kind of these like central authorities to make sure it works. And you can set up your own DNS servers, but other people probably won't use those DNS servers. So you need a standardized way, a permissionless way, to do what DNS is doing. And IPFS has come up with a really good way to do it in a content addressable way, which means that if I give it a file and then someone else gives it that same file, they'll always have the same ID. And so you can look it up using that ID, and that file will be found on either of our computers, whichever one's fastest.
Wait, hold on. Break it down for me a little bit more. First off, this is the level I'm at. I feel like you're talking to me up here. I need you to talk to me down right here. I thought you just stored a file and then it was there, wherever it was stored. And the computer would just find it wherever it is. What is the discovery layer? What am I trying to discover? I thought I knew where everything already was.
If you do know the exact location of where data is, it's really great, right? If I'm storing a file on my computer and I call it bob.txt, and you know the address of my computer, you can go to my computer and ask my computer for bob.txt. That's discovery of that file, right? But you need to know all that information ahead of time, which sucks, because what if you don't know where, you don't know I'm holding that file. You're just looking for bob.txt and you don't know where it is. A discovery layer will direct you to the right computer to ask for bob.txt.
You know what? God, I'm still fucking so confused. Why do I even need the discovery layer? Is it just like the URL? Is it just like the little connecting bit that just gets me there?
A URL is kind of that identifier. So you go to, currently with how the internet works, is you have these bigger computers and your URL that you're using, you ask that big computer, hey, I have this URL and I want you to take me there because I need to access what's at it. And then that big computer, who's been keeping track of all of the other computers, goes, okay, this URL, I'm going to send you there. And then it sends you over to where that URL is like supposed to take you. But then you rely on that central machine. So there's that drawback.
Okay. So IPFS isn't actually storing anything. It's just it's just connecting us.
It's just telling you where to go.
It's just like a map. It's just like letting me know where data's at.
It's funny you say a map because they're called distributed hash tables, which are basically these like big long lists where they say this value takes you here, which is like mappings, right? It's this maps to that and it only maps to that. So it just bounces around, and then IPFS just shares that big table that keeps track of everything. That's all IPFS does.
Okay.
So when you ask when you ask IPFS for a file through like Cloudflare or something, right? You give it the ID of the file you're looking for, and then it goes to its hash table and says, "Do we know where it is? If so, send them there. If not, we're going to look at our other computers that are in our network with us and ask them if they know where the file is." And then that continues for a long time. And then if it finds it, it then updates its own hash table.
If I read on the internet, if I see some tweet that says it's stored on IPFS, that's a lie. That's
complete lie.
Hard lie.
Yeah. All that's happening is it's discoverable on IPFS. So that file could be on an Amazon server somewhere.
Or Jackal. The file could be on
Or
Jackal, and IPFS could discover it.
Exactly, and that's what we've been
IPFS
doing
and
with
Jackal
V4.
are not. They're not competitors. They're friends.
No, they work really well together. Right now, as of V4, which is part of that upgrade that we've been working towards so heavily, every Jackal file is available on IPFS.
Amazing.
So if you upload a file to Jackal, you can go to any storage provider and say, "Hey, I have this file ID on Jackal. Give me the IPFS location," and it will. And then you can just look it up on IPFS.
So when you say every file on Jackal is on IPFS, what you're really saying is every file on Jackal is discoverable via IPFS.
Yes.
Oh, I got it so much. Do you think it's weird if my feet are in the shot, or do you think the internet will like that? I don't know.
I think it's a toss-up.
Maybe not. It's kind of gross. Let's get it out. Marston, V4. There's a lot of awesome stuff in V4. A lot of hot shit. But I think one thing that's not getting as much love, because we haven't really advertised it or thrown it out there yet, is the referral commission program. So you can refer a friend to you to buy some Jackal storage, and you can get a little slice of those Jackal rewards. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Give me the deets on the referral program.
So in V4, we got referrals. And what that means is we have this kind of decentralized sales force where anybody can go in and choose to sell storage to people, which is crazy when you think about it. Taking it back a step, Jackal has a name service built into the protocol, which means that...
Doesn't every chain have a name service?
It feels like
what
it.
What makes ours special?
What makes ours special is they're used for something. Our name service allows you to send files to people, allows you to send tokens to people, and now it's given an ultimate use case with referrals where I can register my name, which my RNS, retriever name service as we call it, is marston.jackal, which means people can address me by Marston instead of my long, awful address, which is super cool because it makes referrals really, really easy. I can, go and sell somebody storage and say, when you buy your storage, use the referral code Marston, and it will look up my RNS name and pay out a portion of that purchase to me, which is really, really crazy, grand scale of things, right? You're not... I think it may be the first truly on-chain decentralized referral program. Usually when I see referral programs, they're, behind a Web 2 platform that is layered on top of the Web 3 platform. And this one's built straight in.
I mean, I'm all about the referral program. I had Dropbox way back in the day. I had those 2 gigabytes free. You can bet your ass I referred some friends and got it up to 4. 4 solid gigabytes of cloud storage. Man, how times have changed. Marston and I was also browsing the Twitter, and I noticed this tweet from Patrick, CEO at Jackal Labs. When you ask the devs to write docs, then they just over-engineer the shit out of it and ship an open source documentation engine.
The thing was, we were using old docs, and they were really slow and clunky. And anytime you wanted to customize them, it was a very long process to do so because you had to edit all of this boilerplate. We didn't like any of that, and we wanted our docs to be hours so we could truly customize the experience of our docs. And so we built Docute, which is a little tool to make your docs really, really pop and make them very customizable. We're redoing all of our docs, and at the same time, we're going to be releasing Docute as an open source documentation engine that's the fastest documentation engine.
So it's free
out
docs.
There. Free docs. Yeah.
How can the people find the free docs? Should I throw up the GitHub link?
Yeah,
right
we
here?
can throw up a GitHub.
There it is right there.
Wow, look at that.
Go
That's
document shit.